Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the CEI podcast. My name is Atlanta. Today I have local artist Amber Williams joining me. We are talking about her upcoming art show at Art on the Bend, located at the Rust Belt in East Moline, Illinois. Art on the Bend is a gallery space that we host a local artist every month, and we do the exhibition the second Thursday of each month. So her show's coming up this March 13th, and we're pretty excited for that. Amber, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm born and raised in the Quad Cities and work at a nonprofit in Davenport, Iowa. So I have a full-time job and try to make art as often as possible.
Excellent. Your upcoming show, your series, it's so beautiful. You do these magnificent collages of the mountains in Colorado. So you went on a trip to Colorado, and that kind of sparked this passion to recreate. And
yeah, definitely. When I started collaging, approximately returning to it in about 2010, 2012, and became obsessed with security envelope patterns, the insides of envelopes.
They're so neat.
They instantly screamed mountains and sky to me, the grays and the blues. So I was making a lot of imaginary scenes of just mountains of my imagination, streams, etc. But definitely seeing the Rocky Mountains for the first time was just so inspiring, and I'm more in tune to create art from my own photographs and sketches and references currently.
Sure, so when you're on vacation, you just got like a bunch of really good photos.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then whenever you need inspiration, you kind of scroll back to like, that was a really good moment there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, so the envelope patterns, those are really unique. At first when I saw them, I thought that maybe you made those patterns yourself. I didn't recognize them as envelope patterns, so that was very unique. They kind of have like a very psychedelic, almost printed. Yeah, they're very cool.
I am very inspired by them.
How did you find them? Where did that come from?
So when I wanted to start collaging again, of course I admire many artists that do found imagery, but I was really stuck on the what is copyright, what is copying somebody else's photograph to use in a collage, and I just wanted to deconstruct the process as much as possible. And then I ran across security envelope patterns and the endless.
Like, how did you find them? Were you at the store and you're like, whoa, or was it like grandma had them around the house?
No, it was just, ripping up envelopes and then seeing them and then collecting them and realizing, oh, there are so many different versions of crosshatch patterns. I probably have every envelope pattern I find that I think is new, I will put it aside and cross-reference it with my collection later. Kind of geek about it. I've collected over 900 different patterns.
It's so crazy that there's so many of them, because you wouldn't think for an envelope there would be so many different ones.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's
it's like a whole history that people don't know about envelopes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so when I got into it, then I did some research online. There are other people that collect envelope patterns. There's many on Instagram. I follow a lot of people that also collect them.
Cool. Your own little niche, your community.
Yeah.
The envelope community. That's cool. Do you plan on doing another series with maybe a different passion, inspiration?
Yeah, I really hope to make it back out to Colorado, to different parts. Maybe this summer, a little bit in the works.
What about like a East Coast?
Well, I guess I would need to make it out to the East Coast, but that would be cool.
Plan a trip.
Yeah.
That could be a tax write-off. You plan your trip, and you're like, well, it's for my art, and that's part of my business. And
one of these days. Yeah. But even just maybe the drive up 61 to Dubuque and the kind of driftless hills of Iowa and Wisconsin and driving around. I have a lot of reference photos I want to revisit.
I have a whole album of those on my phone.
Yeah.
Inspiration album.
Yeah. So I do want to do that as well. And clouds. I'm still trying to get clouds right because they always kind of look cartoony, and I've kind of embraced that in my collage. One time a critique, somebody said my clouds look too cartoony, and that's just kind of staying with me.
Sure.
But I'm like, what about my trees? My trees are literally triangles, but anyways.
That's an interesting critique because,
Yeah.
I mean, if you want something super realistic,
Yeah.
go take a photo of it then. It's not art
Yeah.
anymore at that point, so it can be a little cartoony.
Yeah.
I think they're just being a little,
It's okay.
giving you some tough love. So our exhibition is March 13th. When we do that, it's 6 to 9. You're going to bring some snacks.
Yep.
And hopefully, I love our art show nights because the community comes out. We get to just hang out and talk art. Whoever's showing, you've been to most art shows that we've done, which is really nice. Thank you for that. It's really good to support our other artists in the area.
I really love the space. It's a very inspiring space.
Yeah.
And you've had many very talented artists there, so it's a
Thank
good
you.
place to...
It's very rustic, industrial. It's kind of unique. I hope we find more ways to activate it and just do more than just hanging the art on the walls.
Sure.
I'd like to make it more encompassing. But let's see.
I plan to bring a lot of freebies like postcards and stickers and just different things.
That's nice. Oh, speaking of postcards, you sent me a postcard in the mail. That was such a cool way to market for your show.
Thanks.
I've never done that, so that's definitely something that I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I need to take notes. I need to do something like that for not my upcoming show because that's next month, and I'm way behind the ball. But next year I can think of doing something similar. And an email list. Do you have any advice for artists if they want to how do you stay in touch with your collectors or friends and promote doing a show?
I do Instagram a little. I should probably do it more. Do have an email list of just people who follow me. And then the postcards, the postcard I sent to you, I did that for the first time as a promotion for my show last year and then had great response from it.
Sure.
So then I'm doing it again. And I have an old-fashioned address book. I don't know how other people feel about mail, but as long as it's not a bill, I'm really excited about mail. And even bills, I open them up and I'm like, is it a new envelope pattern? So
No, it was so exciting to get your postcard in the mail.
yeah.
That that's one bad thing about Facebook and social media.
Yeah.
It kind of makes people lazy, where they think about how you can do something
Yeah.
for people that way.
So I sent out postcards last year for a show at the DeSoto Pottery Studio, and I sent one to my next door neighbor just kind of on a whim, and she bought an original. I wasn't expecting that at all, but it was
You
very...
never know what
So,
people, yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Nice.
Do you have any advice or for younger generation, older generation, artists, creatives, anyone who maybe doesn't do art but would love to do art?
Yeah, I'm a cheerleader for a lot of people because I sometimes meet people that are inspired by my art and they say, I used to do art. And I was like, why aren't you doing art right now? Let's do it. Let's do it. Whether it's drawing or painting.
I think
or
everyone has a creative genius inside. So
I think so,
We all
too.
have an outlet of some sort.
And I think so, and to not give up and to keep on going and trying to find your voice. Like my first imaginary mountains, they just looked like triangles. I still have some old collages I make, but they just look so unrefined in comparison. And man, now it's 14 years later, and I feel like I've really developed my voice.
Yeah, your art is so beautiful.
Thanks.
But yeah, it allows you to be a kid, right?
Right? Exactly.
Have fun.
Exactly.
Even if you don't feel like you have the time, you feel better if you
Yeah.
have the time.
Yeah, and so one time somebody told me that art saves. I was just in a, mental health state, and then ever since then I was like, hey, yeah, just the process of doing it, even if it's organizing envelopes or looking at my sketchbook, making sketches, just the process, I always feel better. Some people have that working out, they get the endorphins or whatever going, and for me, it's art.
I'm one of those people. I do both.
Oh,
I really
okay.
get it going from working
Yeah.
out. What I learned about, I used to do CrossFit, and running. And what I've learned through exercise is that how to push past being uncomfortable, and that's really helped me with art. Because you get to that, I used to be an artist where I would have 50 unfinished paintings in my studio,
Sure.
and I'm really not getting anything accomplished.
Yeah.
But learning how to exercise, I'm like, okay, I can push past this barrier. Well, I've applied that to my art. I can push past this barrier with my art piece, and I'll get through that uncomfortable phase of that art piece, because everything kind of is ugly when you start, and you just kind of keep building, and then it's beautiful. Maybe.
I can relate to that too, because I just got back into the pool after a very long time. I swam a long time ago in high school, and I finally got a gym membership, and I was like, I have missed this so much. Just the moving your body, moving through the water, and I'm imagining collages while swimming.
Yeah.
So,
Well, for me, health is full circle with my
Yeah.
creativeness. It's cool. Yeah. How old are you?
41.
41. How long have you been doing art?
Okay, so
Do you have the itch as a kid, or?
yeah, I was always creating. I just did not think of myself as an artist, I guess.
Sure.
And so I started probably applying for shows and exhibits and grants and things probably around 2012-ish. So,
Yeah. And what did you do? Were you doing collage then?
yeah,
Okay, so you've been doing collage a long time.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And lots of rejections. I mean,
Yeah, tell me more about that. How, is that scary? Does it suck?
Yeah,
Does
yeah.
it discourage you? How do you get over that hump?
Well, I say probably just keep doing it. I would say any call for entry that's free, it doesn't hurt to do it.
Sure, yeah, I always say that. Just getting your application in there is better than not anything
Yeah,
else.
but then when you're applying for things, then maybe you're broke, and it's like, hey, can I afford $40 to apply for this show? Maybe not, but there are a lot of opportunities out there, and I'd say on social media, probably based on the algorithm or whatever I'm looking at, I get constant, possibilities, and you just need to filter out what seems closest to my style or what the juror might be looking for.
Do you ever do art fairs?
I have not yet.
You should apply the River Sauce.
Yeah, that is kind of a bucket list thought, but then, there's the tent and the setup and the display and things. I'm just not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think that would be a good goal.
yeah, it's on there. It's on there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Set big goals. You have really, really beautiful pieces, so
Thank you.
I think your body of work's big enough to do River Sauce.
Well, thank you. I think another thing as an artist that budgeting to invest in prints, like after I started making prints, that was a game changer. A lot of people can't afford originals, and being able to make a limited edition print that is signed and even numbered,
Yeah,
people really like that.
Something small that they can at least. It's not too big. It's not too expensive. So I can swing $20, and and they feel like they get to support you, but they also get to keep a piece of you.
Yeah.
And then they can, maybe if they want to buy an original, they'll look at that print enough where they're like, oh, yeah, I really want to invest in a bigger piece from Amber.
Yeah.
Her art is amazing. Or a friend
Yeah.
sees it at their
Yeah.
house, and they're like, oh, that's awesome.
I've also done a couple of maker fairs type of thing where I get to work and not get social anxiety because I'm working on a piece, and people come, and it feels like less pressure, and a lot of networking that way too.
What about hosting a class? Have you ever thought about doing like a small class where you do like a mini collage?
I should try that again.
But you tried one before?
I did one. It was a disaster. I was just too unfocused. It's like, it's just too big of a concept, I think. And
you gotta keep those things very
I think like a
simple.
step by step if I was going to do it again.
So I did a paint and draw class once where I had someone, they reached out, they're like, hey, it's my wife's birthday. Do you think you could do this for us? Because I had done some murals for them.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do this butterfly with skulls as the wings. And I had pre-drawn it out for them, and I made it as simple as possible. And they still struggled. So I'm like, okay, that was still too much. I said, I need to refine that even more. So I haven't really done many after that. I think I did one other one, but they're difficult. Teaching a class is difficult. You have to have that teacher mindset and know how to go through the steps with people.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm there, but
Yeah. Some people got it, some people don't.
yeah.
That's why yeah.
It's always good to get out of the box and try.
Yes, it is, definitely. I do that quite a bit. I dive feet first in, even if I don't know what I'm doing, and then I learn as I go, and I find that is a very good way to approach a lot of things in life.
Yeah.
What else? You said you work with handicapped people?
Yeah. Primarily developmental disabilities, but also a variety. And that is also very inspiring, the opportunity to do art with them as well. And even just coworkers. We currently have very talented artists on staff, but just even being able to draw at all, you feel like a superhero. Yeah.
Oh, maybe even like doing like a little class with them.
Yeah.
And then learning how to refine some of what you would teach someone.
Yeah, they're my best audience. I could recreate the classes I've taught for them. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so you and your husband does art too, right?
Boyfriend, but yes.
Oh, sorry.
It's
Your
okay.
boyfriend does art too. You guys are currently in a little studio down in Rock Island, DeSoto.
Yeah. I work out of the DeSoto Pottery Studio and also teach pottery classes. You can find it on Facebook. If you want to come to the drop-in pottery nights, they're not actually classes. They're more freestyle, do what you want, but I can provide instruction as well.
So you have like the space. Do you have clay that people can utilize?
Yeah.
And then they maybe like buy clay, or how does that work?
Oh, it's $15. Do what you want. Use all the materials you want for 2 hours at a time. It's usually the first and third Tuesday of the month, 6 to 8. And very talented potter Joel Kananashu actually runs the space.
Oh, cool.
But
and then you run the kiln and you'll fire things and you have glazes.
Yeah, we
have
have
all of
glazes.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you did that too. So
Yeah.
You know how to teach.
Yeah. It's more of people just go in and do what they want, but I can help.
So if I want to come in and make some mugs for like a Christmas present, I can do that? But if I do it like 3 months in advance,
Yeah.
then that's more like a realistic. It's not going to be an immediate thing.
Yeah.
But if I plan ahead.
Yeah, we take turns sharing the wheel. Most of it's hand built. I'd say my favorite story, kind of like that, was one time a guy came in and he's like, "I want to make my mom a pelican." It's like, "Do you have any clay?"
Kind of pelican?
Well, we figured it out. We basically made some tubes and we kind of shaped it into a pelican. It turned out pretty nice, but
Was he going for a vase or was he going for a sculpture?
it was more of a sculpture.
Cool.
Yeah, but he had kind of just a vague idea. It's like, "Oh, okay, we can do this." But
Interesting.
yeah, the first one exploded, so I let him make the second one for free.
Well, that happens.
Yeah. Clay is not it's very cool. You can do lots of things with it, but it is not always forgiving. One air bubble and poof. Yeah. Sometimes teach Girl Scouts there, 4-H. Anybody?
Teach Girl Scouts too?
Clay. It's just anytime a troop reaches out and they said they want to earn their badge. And
Oh, that's neat.
yeah, I can work with kids very well. I can work with
Okay, I did
clients
not
at work.
know you like run a whole pottery studio too while working and doing your art. That's amazing.
Well, thanks. Sometimes I'm trying to remember where all the time goes, but yeah.
Yeah, no, time goes by way too fast. I wake up and then it's 5 p.m. and I'm like, well, I don't know. I have 2 kids too, so that doesn't help. They make the day go by very fast.
Well, and now you're running a gallery as well, and that's amazing.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
And trying to keep up with murals. That's cool. Well, thank you, Amber, for letting us know a little bit more about you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being such an amazing creative in the Quad Cities.
Well, thank you.
And I invite you guys to come to Amber's show if this podcast airs before March 13th. If not, the gallery space is open to come and walk and look at the art. Anytime Midwest Works is open, so their hours are posted online. I don't know them off the top of my head. But it's super exciting. And like I said, we have a different artist each month, and we have the whole year full. So lots of really cool things going on at the Rust Belt if you want to see some art. So thank you guys so much. Bye. Have a good day.